Lions TV, we are sponsored by Regal Elevators and Lifts Consultants Limited, a company that is owned and operated by a Millwall fan, just like every single one of the sponsors that you can see on the screen right now. If you are going to do a bit of business in 2022, then please keep it in the Millwall family by checking out all of our sponsors' website links in the description below. This is your Monday Club video looking back at Saturday's very entertaining 2-2 draw against Luton Town at Kenilworth Road, and we look ahead to tomorrow night's home game under the lights against in-form Swansea City. But as always, let's wind it back to Saturday and the starting 11 that Gary Rowett picked to start the match. Okay, so I predicted there would be one change from the team that lost against Stoke. I predicted that Tom Bradshaw would come back in for a start, and of course Mason Bennett dropped out due to injury. That did happen, and Bradshaw looked fresh, if not fresher, than he did before he went on his injury break, and he has scored 6 in 8 with that break in between. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Let's get back, let's wind it right back. What a weird day for me personally. I won't go into massive detail, but I woke up feeling like absolute shit. Wasn't going to go. The boy wanted to tick that ground off. He hadn't been yet, and I thought, I've got to battle this. But I felt awful all day. I was actually sitting down for long periods of the match, like in bits. But I was still watching it, but just through heads and shoulders. But the stadium is shit, but I love it. The town is shit, and I definitely don't love it. It's just a weird place. I managed to get some tickets from my mate, and he said to me he's never been before, and he just texted me the next day and said there are no words to describe that place. It's a weird place, and we started exchanging thoughts and scenarios, and he come back with, it looks like it's been left behind in time by England as a town, which I agree with. And then I sort of come up with that their ground looks like it grew there, you know, just all over the place, bits of stadium, upper tiers, lower tiers, below pitch level, no fans on one side of the ground. I don't know. It's a strange place in the world. It's like the Walking Dead, but really like the stadium. I do like the stadium. It was a fantastic atmosphere. Luton are a good side. I thought we played really well. People have come away from that game going, oh, it's 2 points dropped. I disagree. We were 6 points off the playoffs before going into the game, and we have now closed that gap to 4 on Blackburn, who are currently in 6th place and occupying the final playoff slot. So teams in and around us still got to play each other. We on paper have an easier run in. However, as we know, and we experience very often as Millwall fans, that we don't do so well against the teams we should beat. I'm talking, of course, about Barnsley, especially at the Den on Saturday. But before that, we got to face in-form Swansea, as I've said. But getting back to the game, I thought we was on the front foot. I just thought it was a really good advert for the division in general. Luton really exceeded my expectations. I did back them a few months ago, I keep saying this, to make a late playoff push. And that was just on spirit and just being a bit of an underdog, really. But they fully deserve to be where they are, because they was a good side, really good attacking coming forward. I felt we pushed them well. I think the only slight gripe you could have is that, and I haven't got this, but, you know, looking at both sides of the coin, as I like to do, the issue you could argue with is we failed to hold on to a lead twice, and not just that, we conceded quite quickly. I just think that was Luton kicking into gear, realising what was at stake, and realising that, you know, they need to up their levels, which they did, and they scored one very good goal. The second one I didn't realise until after the game was actually a Jake Cooper own goal. But getting back to the start of the game, thought we looked good. Thought we looked a lot fresher than we had done. Murray Wallace again, standout performer for me. I also thought that Scott Malone did very well in the game. He's not looked anywhere near his best for a long time, but he looked like he definitely benefited from the break, and his fitness seemed to be back up to the top end of where it should be. And also defensively, I thought he tracked back and chased hard. I'll get to his chance at the end of the game, but I thought we looked good. Jed was lively without anything particularly coming off for him, but just that enthusiasm and that energy for him will always rub off on others. I thought Saville did well in the centre midfield again. He seems to be much improved. Still not back to the George Saville from 2018, but people will be shouting at the screen. We play a different formation under a different manager, and I think Saville is back to near his best. Tom Bradshaw is now not only, you know, scoring goals and doing what we want him to do, but he was winning headers and winning flick-ons, and not enough people getting in and around him. But scored his 100th career goal, as did Benik Afobe. I never slagged Bradshaw off. I have slagged Afobe off. Afobe was getting a lot of shit in the stands. People saying, don't do this, don't do that. I think we've got to look at the bigger picture here. We're 10th in the division, and they both scored double figures now for the season. They've both had injuries. So if they both took every chance and they both played brilliantly every game, then they probably wouldn't be at Millwall Football Club. And I think for the budget we've got and the sort of team that's been thrown together almost, I think we've ended up with a very strong partnership. Listen, I say this all the time, I just want my centre forwards to score goals. I know there's more to football than that, but at the end of the day, my defenders defend, they keep the clean sheets, the strikers score the goals, and the midfielders make things happen. As I said, I realise that is a little bit of a dinosaur opinion maybe, and football has moved on, but ultimately that is my ideal outcome in a football match, and they are both scoring goals. Of course, Afobe scored 2 in the game, I can't remember who it's against now, before the international break, and he couldn't play against Stoke, so he's actually scored 3 in his last 2, and Bradshaw 6 in his last 8. For the first time since Morris and Gregory, we've actually got a couple of strikers appearing that are scoring goals. So we take the lead through Tom Bradshaw. Again, it's at the other end to us. I was standing up for this bit, don't worry. It's just sort of out of nothing. The ball's bobbling around, just trying to get under control. And Bradshaw, when you're at the other end and you're behind the goal, things seem like they're even further away. So when Bradshaw hit that, it looked like he was even further out than he was. He just sort of flicks his foot at it. He looked full of beans, full of confidence. He definitely didn't look like someone who'd been out for, what's he been out for, 8, 10, 12 weeks with a medial ligament injury. Look back to his best, just got a bit between the teeth and not let his injury deter him. And he just sort of flicks his foot at it. It wasn't even a move. The ball comes to Jed. Jed tries to help it on, I think. It's bobbling around. He just flicks his foot like that. And it flies into the corner. And we go 1-0 up. I think at that point, Luton said, all right, okay, right, now we need to up our game. And no, they've got great team togetherness. You can see their managers always animated on the sideline. They've got a good little crowd behind them. As I said, I like the ground, if not the town in general. But yeah, they come back into the game. This Adebayo up front, I think he can really hurt defences. And I know Jake Cooper gets a lot of shit. Again, I don't think that's warranted. I think Coops is fantastic for us, other than the own goals that he keeps scoring. But I just think that Adebayo, he's 23 years old, I think, 24 years old. I think he's a level above. He's only a unit, and he's very good. He's a very good striker, all-round player, can link play, can score goals, and he scores a fantastic goal. Great team goal for Luton. 1-1, in off Bulkowski's post. We'll be going at half-time, 1 each, which I would have taken before the game. It's actually what I predicted before the game. But you got the feeling that all is, it's not done yet. Come out the second half, it's a little bit slower starting the second half. Luton have a good chance. Bulkowski makes a good save. The 2 goalkeepers have not had a lot to do other than pick the ball out of the net. Other than, I say, Cooper's own goal, all good finishes. So, yeah, good finishing there. But other than the side, from that, the keepers in my memory didn't have too much to do. As I said, Bulkowski makes that great save. Murray Wallace nearly takes the top bin clean out with that left foot strike that goes over the bar. And it's sort of dying down, almost heading for a 1-1. And then, 75th minute, I've had dodgy guts. If you saw my full-time reaction, then you'll know what I'm talking about. I have never, ever left before the end of a game, never arrived late, and I've never missed a goal at Millwall. I will not move. Once I'm in that seat, I will not move for 90 minutes. It got to about the 75th minute, and I sharted, basically. I farted, I took a chance, and it didn't pay off. And I thought I'd shit myself. I hadn't, luckily. I run down to the toilet. There's no toilet paper in the men's toilets. I run into the women's toilets. Don't worry, there's no women in there. No Richards in there. And there's a little bit of toilet paper. So I do what I need to do. And as I'm pulling the chain, I hear the away end erupt. I run back up. I can't get through bodies. My boy's going absolutely bananas. He's filmed it, by the way, on our Instagram. It's really good if you see that clip. Bodies everywhere. People up on the hoardings. Fantastic celebration. But I've missed it. Benik Afobe has equalised. Of course, I've watched it back. Ollie Burke, great work. That rhymed. Breaking with pace and intent. Moving the ball quickly. And it's an absolute fucking brilliant finish from Afobe. He gets a great connection. He opens his body up. He's composed. And I think, look, I don't always say he's the greatest player. And some people say he can't trap a bag of cement. You see memes of him and pictures online of him wearing a pair of Timberlands and a Millwall kit. He's scoring goals. Look, and we got him for nothing. We got him on loan. So I don't think, if his effort maybe not always there, and I think he is. I just think his touch is more of an issue for me than his endeavour. I see at one point in the game, he sort of turns, he spins to run, and whoever's played the ball to him has played it short. And he went, no, over the top. And fans went fucking mad. That's a miscommunication. That's a tactical thing. They should say, we get the ball, we're going to try and maybe the last 15, we're going to stretch him, we're going to knock one over the top. So that's not really Afobe's fault. If that's what he's been told to do, then that's what he's done. And I think he has got a lot of unfair criticism, but he's got a fantastic mentality. I remember earlier in the season, he scored a goal and he missed 2 or 3 in the game and he scored and he's given one of them, didn't he? Keep your head, keep switched on. So I've not got an issue with him. As I said, my centre forwards, I want them to score goals. And if they do that, I don't really care what else they do in the game. As long as they get their job done. And if I was Afobe, I'd say 3 goals in 2 games. I'm doing my job. What are you doing at the other end? Well, let me tell you what we're doing at the other end. We're scoring own goals. Again, this is the minor gripe that you could have. And I said, I haven't got it. I had no qualms at all with the performance. No faults at all, really. Luton are a good side. They're 3rd in the division for a reason. They come back at us. And it's a Robert Snodgrass free kick. At first, I don't think anyone really in our end realised it was a Jake Cooper own goal. But it comes off his shoulder, I think. I've watched it back a few times. And it flies past Bulkowski, who has no chance because he's not expecting the big dog to stick one past him. But he had bodies around him, Cooper. He was trying to defend. He's just trying to do it. And it was a little bit of bad luck as well as a little bit of 50p headband defending or 50p shoulder in this case. And it flies past Bart. And it's 2. Right at death, we could have won it. Ball comes across. Obviously, it's at our end. Again, we break quick. I thought our movement and our decision-making and our final balls and our intent to get forward were all brilliant Saturday. We didn't fuck around. We got the ball forward quickly. We moved quickly as a unit and we went end-to-end and we hit the counter-attack well a few times. But that ball across, in real time, he's trying to cut it back. He's trying to side-foot it for someone to have an easy tap-in, which wasn't easy because he was sort of falling away a little bit. If I'm Scott Malone, that will haunt me, right? And I've looked at it back. It's not as clear-cut as it looked in real time. He was pushed slightly wide. But for me, if I'm Scott Malone, I'm just putting my laces through that. And if it fucking goes miles over, then it goes miles over. I think you can have clear conscience there. Well, look, it's come across. I've given my best connection. I've put my laces through it and it's gone over. The fact that he's dilly-dallied, he's potted around it a bit and dilly-dallied. Never said that in my life. And he side-foots it back. I think that will be on my mind. Like, I should have just fucking smashed it. And then I don't think many people, including the manager, including the fans, would have had much of an issue with it. But look, it was the last minute. He had been end-to-end Scotland. I thought we had a good game, to be fair, like back to near his best. And he doesn't decide to put his laces through it. And the game ends 2-2. It took us ages to get out of Luton. The fucking police escorts. Massive overkill. But there you go. They had their reasons, I suppose. And it finishes 2-2. Great result, great 2 teams going at it. If Luton can make the playoffs, so can we. And now we've got 2 home games on the bounce, starting tomorrow at home to Swansea City. Managed by Russell Martin, Swansea currently sit 6 places and 7 points behind us in 16th place. So a win for them will close the gap to 4. And they're on a little bit of a decent run. They have won 2, drawn 1 and lost 2 of their last 5 league games. You're probably thinking, well, that's not that good. But our back-to-back wins. Last time out was in the Wales Derby, boy. That didn't sound anything like Welsh. They beat Steve Morrison's Cardiff at the Cardiff City Stadium by 4-0. And you do find these teams that make a late dash can make the playoffs and have done in many times during history. So it's not out of the equation for them. They'll need all 3 points. They know that to not finish the season in mid-table obscurity. Let's get back to us. Back-to-back home games now. This is, of course, a postponed game from over the Christmas period during COVID when the games started getting called off and we thought we could all fold. Games then got going again, luckily, and it didn't happen. But this is a rearranged fixture. Benefits for us playing it on midweek. Well, our crowd will be down. That's not a benefit, but also their crowd will be down. Always a difficult team. I think they usually do well against us. If memory serves me, I'm just thinking in my head, when they come to the Den, it's not always easy. And they're a good side, they're a big club looking to get things going under Russell Martin. And they're going to be coming, as I said, looking for the 3 points. Will they get it? Well, I fucking hope not. I think that we've proved now that we are a good side. We are coming forward. We are actually trying to win football matches. We're pretty much back to full strength with the exception of Mason Bennett and Sean Hutchinson. More than capable. I thought Ollie Burt looked electric when he come off the bench. So there might be a case for him to start. But where will he start? You know, he's not going to replace Jed, and Bradshaw and Afobe have both scored goals. So options off the bench and strength in depth is something that very much interests me at this point of the season, and it can only be a good thing. I think he'll stick with the same side. He's got to really. Hutchinson out back three, he's got to be the same. I think McNamara and Malone did enough to keep their place. Mitchell and Saville also, you know, they're rolling now. I think Billy Mitchell's played like 36 games straight. So that's brilliant for his age as well. Alongside Saville, who seems to be complimenting him well, and vice versa. So I think we'll go with the same side. What do I think the score's going to be? Well, let's move on to it. So this is your pre-match prediction, and here we go. I am going for a 1-0 Millwall win with George Saville to get the goal. What about that one? George Saville went for a Scott Malone 1-1 last time out. It didn't happen. It was 2-2. But I think we're going to win this game. We need to win this game if we want to keep our playoff hopes alive. Barnsley's going to be a tricky one Saturday. But let's get 3 points out of the way early in midweek by beating Swansea under the lights 1-0 tomorrow night at the Den. So that's your lot for this Monday club. I'm sorry the videos are not separate and it's a little bit long-winded, but as you know, I was in absolute turmoil yesterday. Slept most of the day, and that's unlike me. I struggle to sleep at night, but you're supposed to sleep. So I didn't wake up, and eventually, through various illnesses, till about 3 PM yesterday. Far too late to do a video, but there you go. You've had it now. It's your Monday club. I hope you've enjoyed it. The fan score predictions from the other boys at Lions TV will be out later tonight. And if you think you know what the score's going to be, do not be shy to put it in the comments below. I'll be live streaming tomorrow. The only fan channel across the board in existence, to my knowledge, that gives you live match day commentary direct from the stadium. I'll be live streaming from around the 7:15/7:30 stick. And if you're not going to the game, then please tune in, check it out. There's not many left now, and hopefully we'll be continuing the live streams next season. But that's a bridge I need to cross in the summer. Please subscribe to Lions TV. I'll see you in beautiful South Bermondsey. Come on, you Lions.